Hi.
Hi.
Today we're gonna do Sins of the Parents on Hulu. Is that correct?
It's on Hulu, yeah.
Yeah. It's about James and Jennifer Crumbley, the parents of Ethan Crumbley, who carried out a mass shooting at Oxford High School in Michigan, November 30th, 2021. Ethan was 15 at the time, killed four students, injured several others. The case gained national attention not only because of the tragedy, but because Ethan's parents were charged with involuntary manslaughter, marking one of the first times in history that parents were held criminally responsible for a school shooting committed by their child.
Which,
I stand behind.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
what it is a parent's responsibility to teach gun safety, it,
Obviously,
especially if you're going to buy your kid
a
a gun.
gun. Yep.
If you're
Hmm.
gonna have guns, I feel like gun safety should be taught either way, but especially if you are going to have them in your house at all.
Yeah.
But then to
Buy your child
buy,
a
yeah,
Christmas present.
who clearly had mental health issues,
Yeah.
you know.
Um, so let's do a little bit of a background. It says that the Crumbleys purchased a 9 millimeter SIG handgun for Ethan just days before the attack, referring to it as his Christmas present. School officials had raised concerns about Ethan's disturbing drawings and violent thoughts in the on the morning of the shooting. The parents declined to take him home. School officials, Ethan was left at school, and later that day he opened fire.
And did they not? They went to the school, they left him there.
Hmm.
For one, I would have pulled my kid out of school immediately anyway, because at that point, he obviously needs to be talked to. Um, but to not even like look for the gun that you knew was missing, you know? You know that he owns a gun. You know he's
But
mentally
they didn't.
ill.
But they didn't say that to the school.
That's what I mean. Like that's
Yeah,
why
they
like
didn't
the
say anything to
parents,
the school.
right.
The school should have said, "Hey, you have to take your child."
That yeah, I don't think that it should have been an option, take
Right.
him or not. It should have been like, you need to take him or we're calling the police and they can do what
Yeah.
what they want. But he shouldn't have left the principal's office.
Okay, so now that we're talking about like that, what rights do the school have to
I
say that?
mean,
Can they legally do that?
in my high school when I mean this was a while ago, but they could send us home if they didn't like the freaking pants we had on. Why could they not send you home?
Well, that's against something. I think someone drawing or having that. I just feel like that might be like freedom of speech, kind of, you know?
I guess.
So I don't know legally, can someone say,
I
"Hey,
think
you have
it's
to take your
how it's
child."
taken care of because if it was presented in a way of this seems like threatening behavior. That seems almost like a kill list.
Right.
Not necessarily a full-on list, but like
Right.
to be drawing out pictures is like, hmm, it's a
So
little threatening and
if
concerning.
I was the parent and I already went to the school, absolutely I would take my child because I don't want to have to go back there again.
You're already there.
Exactly.
Like
But
his day's already been thrown for a loop, even if the kid is innocent and like it's
he's
just a silly, stupid drawing and he's just a dumb boy.
he's in the
I'm
principal's office. Like he's in
Yeah,
trouble.
like the day is still whatever. Like I'm still gonna take my kid home and like ask questions.
Right.
Like, why did you draw that? Did you think it was funny? Did you want attention of some like negative attention? Because that's the only attention you're gonna get from that. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Um,
to
let's
not
see if
get to the bottom of it is wild to me.
yeah.
And for him to be asking, like telling his parents over and over again that he thinks he needs help and them to not get him help. Like,
Yeah,
I don't care as a parent how embarrassed I am. Like, if my kid tells me he needs therapy, he's going to therapy. Like,
right,
like, do I want that for him? No, but if he's telling me he needs it,
right.
he's going. Like,
Okay, so um I'm trying to see if there's like text messages that we can
oh,
read.
I did also want to bring up when those first initial texts with the mom and him, when she was saying, like, I'm not mad at you, just don't get caught, because he was looking up bullets or something in school.
Yeah,
Like, he's looking up ammo. Okay, my first, because this was at the very beginning of the documentary. And my first thought was, well, I could see that not being concerning to a parent. Being in a small town where I'm at, growing up with every guy, like you just know how to shoot. Most people here know how to shoot. They've
right.
handled guns, like yada yada. For a teenage boy to be looking up ammo for his gun or whatever, that
In the
would not,
Midwest. Yeah,
I would not bat an eye about that. Like I'm
right.
not gonna lie. I, to me, I was like, well, I could see myself responding in a similar fashion to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like,
Time
yeah,
and place, buddy.
why are
Time
you
and
looking
place.
up ammo in school? Like, let's do it after school.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
Hmm.
and I think that's where it gets wishy-washy because at the beginning,
Yeah,
where you learn other details. Because at first I'm like, man, that would really suck
yeah,
to, brush off what is a normal teenage
yeah.
thing. I feel like if they're into
Totally.
guns, hunting, anything like that. But
There's obviously more.
there's obviously more in this scenario.
So, legal consequences. Ethan Crumbley pleaded guilty to murder and terrorism charges and was sentenced life without parole. James and Jennifer Crumbley were each convicted of involuntary manslaughter and separate trials in early 2024. Prosecutors agreed that their negligence, failing to secure the firearm, and ignoring warning signs contributed to the tragedy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They knew something was wrong. You know,
If you were a present parent,
you know.
it seems like the mother wasn't. They didn't talk much about the dad, I feel like they focused
No, yeah, the
mostly on how
mom
crappy the mom was and how the mom was stepping out on the dad, yada yada.
always,
But it's like
it's
there's two
always
parents there. There's
absolutely.
two.
Yeah.
Like,
They were very selfish
yeah.
um in how they handled everything.
Yes. I feel like it was partly laziness, and that's probably not the correct word, but
Yeah.
also partly like embarrassment, like negligence. Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
literally all it is they were neglectful of their child.
Yeah. The prosecutors had more than 400 pieces of evidence against Jennifer Crumbley, including text messages, photos from her cell phone, and as well as a video showing her and Ethan at the gun range the weekend before the shooting.
Yeah. It does seem kind of like she had a closer relationship to him, I guess, than the dad. So maybe that's why they focused on her a lot, but
I mean,
I feel like the dad was ignored quite a bit in the whole thing.
yeah.
And like I don't care that this woman cheated on her husband. I care why her son shot
Yeah.
other children. Like,
Yeah.
which I guess it could be, just to show like his home life was stressful and his home life was lonely.
Totally. Absolutely it was.
But see, that's also what drives me nuts about like, I do understand that yes, bullying makes kids snap sometimes and
Yeah.
come in and shoot schools up, but I don't think that that's ever a sole thing. think the bullying starts at home and then it becomes too much when you can't even escape it when you're outside of the home, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're
I mean,
right. Um, as of January, Jennifer Crumbley's request for a new trial was denied by the judge.
oh,
So that
good.
was one appeals process. Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
think at
very
first what is his name? I
James.
the son,
Oh, Ethan.
Ethan. I think that my brain like purposely almost like blocks out suspect names.
Prob-
I don't know. I can't
I'm like, I
think.
want to know it. I need to know it.
Yeah. But shoot, what was I gonna say? I
It'll
can't
come
keep
to you.
track of my brain.
It's
It'll
okay.
come back like we'll be logged off and 8 o'clock tonight. I'll be texting you. Like,
Yeah,
this is what I
totally.
was gonna say.
Yeah. It's it's crazy because as a parent, if my child did something like that, I would be mortified, you know? Like I would be,
You know, in the trial, I do remember the mom saying, because she was asked, like, are you regretful of this? Like, are you sorry this happened? And she said, yeah, I wish he would have shot, or I wish he would have killed us instead. And I did believe her saying that. I
yeah,
didn't necessarily maybe believe that before all this happened,
she would have been okay
she
with
would have
it.
said that.
Yeah,
I think that she's saying that partly because, of
of
course,
where
she
they
didn't want those
stand.
kids to die, but she
No,
also doesn't want to be in the situation she's in. I think it came
exactly.
from a selfish,
Totally.
you know,
Yeah.
because if it was
Um,
just her son being tried, I think she would have come off her as her true self, like a lot more arrogant and
well,
she
me.
just came off, yeah, like she came off just like her shit don't stink and she can just do whatever. Real, both parents
Yeah.
did to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like kids have their own like weird things that they like to do or whatever. It doesn't even have to be a weird thing. It's just like their specific niche, right?
Right.
And if that child was liking guns and stuff like that, how do you tell them like, no, your hobby isn't like that? How do you do that, you
Well,
know?
being
Besides
in a
saying
small
no.
town, because everyone in where I'm from has a gun in their house, at least one. So Tyler and I have already discussed like we need to teach gun safety very early.
Hmm.
And what that entails is showing all parts of the gun, how to take it apart, whatever. But like knowing where the safety is, knowing how to hold it, not point it at anywhere but the ground. Like I don't it can't be taught when you're 15 and you're
No,
just given a gun and like, hey, go shoot at this target. Like,
right.
like I don't know. The frontal lobe
Shoot,
isn't developed yet. Like,
right, exactly. And shooting at a target is just a target. You're just perfecting that. But
right,
you're not actually like saying like you can't murder people,
right.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that goes into really pounding it
If
into
you
the head
feel
of,
angry, you should not touch your gun.
yeah.
If you have big
But
emotions, you should
also,
not touch it.
common sense says if you have an angry 15-year-old, you don't buy your angry
A gun.
15-year-old a gun.
Who would have thought?
But also, didn't am I mixing documentaries or didn't he
Maybe.
have videos of him like torturing a cat? I'm pretty sure. Because I think that I skipped over that part because I didn't want to hear it. Because the cop was like, that was like one of the most disturbing videos I've ever saw. I think it was that
I
documentary.
will.
I watched too
mm,
many.
I will look that up for you.
So if that is true and
Crumbly
that is that documentary,
video.
that would be red flag Number one, it's lighting up like your kid needs help.
Mm,
I mean, shoot,
don't
at a certain age,
know.
I'm like, killing bugs in a crazy way is concerning.
Okay, so let's read the behavioral threat assessment for Ethan Crumbley. 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley executed a mass shooting, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so when Crumbley was about 8 years old, the neighbor called Child Protective Services on the Crumbley family, but any actions taken following the complaint are unknown by CPS. Crumbley allegedly tortured animals and kept a baby bird's head in a jar in his bedroom.
Okay. I was like,
Pro
there's something
the
weird.
prosecutors said that in the 6 months prior to the attack, Crumbley's only friend moved away and his dog died, resulting in depression. Crumbley allegedly kept a journal where he described his fantasies of committing violences against students at his school. Crumbley's parents gifted him a gun used in the attack as a Christmas present 4 days prior to which he showed on his Instagram. His mother took him to a shooting range the weekend prior. On the day before the shooting, Crumbley's teacher sent him to the school counselor because he was searching online for ammunition during class. Following the incident, his mother texted him, LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn not to get caught.
See, and that was,
Hours hours prior to the attack, he wrote on his Instagram, now I become Death Destroyer of Worlds. See you tomorrow, Oxford.
yeah, that should have been caught.
Obviously. Parents
Like,
and students there said that there were rumors of the attack, and some students chose not to attend school on November 30th because they felt like something was going to go down. Um, on the morning of the attack, Crumbley's parents were called into the school for a meeting because drawings of a handgun and bullet with shooting victim with laughing emojis and the words, the thoughts won't stop, help me. My life is useless. The world is dead and blood everywhere were found on his math worksheet.
yeah, that's concerning.
That was the day of the shooting.
Yeah.
Crumbley convinced the superintendent and the school counselor that his drawings were from a video game that he was supposedly designing. No superintendent At the school superintendent, at no time did the counselors believe that the student might harm other people. During
I
the
think that
meeting, the
goes with
school,
just not thinking things will happen to you,
oh,
you know?
totally. Yeah. Um, during the during the meeting, school officials asked the Crumbleys to take him out of school, but they refused. And there was also instructed to provide counseling within 48 hours. Prosecutors believe that Crumbley had the gun in his backpack during this meeting. School officials did not search his backpack and allowed him to go back to
That is
school.
the most simple, basic fail on all parties. Every single adult, the school and the parents. Like, what the fuck? Why would you not search the backpack and his
Yeah.
locker? Like,
Yep.
what do you
Yeah.
mean?
At the time of his arrest, Crumbley still had 18 rounds of ammunition left. Parents were charged in involuntary manslaughter, blah, blah, blah. I mean,
Literally the simple looking for the gun.
He literally, everyone's saying, look, there's a problem. And he literally just went swoop, 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 swoop. And he just went right through all of it.
Yeah.
Problem, 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 problem. And he literally wormed his way
Because no
through
one wants to
and
deal with
still,
it.
exactly, and still got away with it.
The
I mean, he didn't
parents
get
are
away
like,
with
this
it,
is
but
too much. I don't want to deal with it.
oh, we're
The
not going to take
school
him.
is
What do you
like,
mean?
nah, the school's like, meh,
I guess we,
what's the likelihood it's gonna happen to our school? You know what I
right.
mean? Like it's a combination of failure after failure after
But
failure.
those children that got hurt and those children that lost their lives,
Oh yeah. Um,
absolutely not.
I
Like
honestly do
they
believe,
failed them.
yeah. And I do think that they should have made an example out of the school as well. Maybe not necessarily had a single person jail time in the school, but like the school needed some sort of repercussion.
Right. When
Like,
you have death and gun violence, you have to take the most precautions.
yeah,
Do you think a cop like goes, "Oh, you have a gun? Okay."
right.
No. They're like, "Let me see it. Give me the
Yeah,
gun."
yeah, yep.
What do you mean? They don't just to be like, "Oh, okay, you're this is just for a video game." Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely. But
yeah.
we do need you to follow through with some counseling.
You
No,
know,
but
when I was in school, like even junior high, like when you first start getting lockers, they even talk of weed potentially being in the school.
oh,
And they would have
searched.
drug dogs.
Yep.
Every locker's being searched.
Hmm.
People's backpacks are randomly being searched. There's talk about a gun being in possession of a
Absolutely.
kid that clearly has mental health issues and talks about violence and draws about violence, and you're not going to check everything? Like
Yeah.
what? Not even his backpack? Like that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard,
Yeah.
honestly.
It it's absolutely crazy how he literally just wormed it through.
And I,
They're like precaution, 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 precaution. And then he was just like, "Mm."
yeah,
And the parents were like, no, we're not taking him.
yeah. Like it blows my mind that two out of two parents can be that self-absorbed and like what you miss half day of work. Okay, well there would have been four children alive and all three of you would not be in prison.
Yeah, and
Like
no one would be going through, you know, physical therapy for being injured or it does, I
yeah.
mean, it doesn't matter. Like that that child was screaming for help and nobody helped him and he
Blatantly
literally,
asked for help. Like,
yeah, and he literally did exactly what he knew he wanted to do and he walked right through.
yeah.
He got overlooked and
You know, I came across a question because I was like looking into this case and whatever. I came across a question of, do you believe that a kid coming from genuinely good parents and attentive parents could become a school shooter?
yes,
And I was like, of course, you know, because
yeah,
first off, frontal lobe's not developed. Kids make stupid choices, yada
yeah,
yada. You can't always help that.
no,
But I do believe on this kind of level where he is asking for help repeatedly, he's drawing out things, he's keeping a bird head in his room. I mean, come on.
hmm
There had to be some sort of abuse in that household.
I mean, probably,
You know,
yeah.
physical, mental, whatever it may be. He did not come from a stable, emotionally intelligent household, you know?
I mean, it could, I mean, probably, but he could have had that as a young child, and then people get older and people pull away and people, you know,
Yeah.
who knows what his upbringing was.
Yeah.
Obviously, they want to paint the mom as a bad person, which
I
she
do want to
probably
paint the
is,
mom as a bad person. But I feel like
but
if you're going to paint the mom as a bad person, you also got to do it to the dad. There's two parents.
yes, absolutely.
I
It
mean,
takes it takes two people to raise kids. I mean, obviously it takes more than that, but um, raising kids is hard, and the bigger thing is to see the warning signs. Like everyone sees,
And
like,
to
oh, my child's
recognize
gonna get
that it
sick.
can happen to you. Like
Totally.
your kid does need direction just like every other kid, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, he knew right from wrong.
Right.
Like he wasn't insane. He
Nope.
wasn't mentally handicapped in the way of
He
not
was ple he
knowing.
was he
He tried
he
pleading that.
wasn't. Yeah,
But that's
he
what I was going to say
knew what
earlier.
he was going to do was wrong. He
Yes,
knew it. He was
he
trying
did
to
know it.
ask for help, and nobody wanted to even see that.
Yeah. Yeah, so his grand ask, his last final ask for help, he murdered
Yeah.
four people, you know?
And how do you go from saying what did he say the day before? What did he say the day before he went to school?
Um, I don't know.
Uh, on the Anyways, he said something on Instagram where kids obviously saw that and they were like, "Oh,
Oh,
we
like
can't go
see
to
you
school."
tomorrow,
Yeah,
Oxford.
yeah.
I mean, enough seen
His
it to
school was
where,
like, "Absolutely not. We're not down. We're not going."
yeah,
And
like
those kids
students were
should
saying not going. Why did the school even have? Because there's been plenty of times out here that schools have not been in session or they've been in lockdown
because of a
because
word
of
like that. Yeah,
potential threats, like whether
yeah,
it, just even a rumor,
yeah.
you know. And nowadays you can't risk it. Like,
No, why would
I think
you?
this is why I struggle so much between homeschool and public school is because like yes, I agree. Like, I want my kid to go to public school and like experience all of the fun things that like we did, yada yada. And I know that I wouldn't be able to stick to a strict schedule of schooling myself. So, I don't want to doom my own child. But my God, like, I know my kid's not going to be shot in my house. You know,
Yeah,
it's it's a
yeah.
hard choice to send your
I
30-year-old.
I am not equipped to homeschool. I can't do it. I
I'm very pro homeschool if you can do it. Yeah. Like if you as a parent are fully capable of not
I'm not
letting
a
your child
teacher.
down.
I'm not a teacher. I can
Me
show
neither.
you, and that's about as far as I can go.
And
And
that's
that's
my
it.
my thing is I know that like I would be harming my child, not physically or anything, but
Right.
like
I would
intelligently, I would be harming him in the long run.
stunting
Stunting. Yes.
his
Like I
brain
can
growth.
do little
There you go.
things, but like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also I'm his mother and he's not going to listen to shit that I say.
No.
He doesn't care.
And honestly, he should have to go to school so you could have the day to yourself.
Very true. Yes. Maybe our laundry and dishes would always be picked up. Not
What?
really. I literally yesterday spent the whole day, because our electric went out for a little bit, and I went outside and I got lost. Not actually, but I got lost outside finding all these sparkly rocks. So now I'm taking a toothbrush and cleaning all these sparkly rocks to, to line the flower bed with.
You have lost your mind.
I
You
am
do
going through a
know,
midlife crisis at 32.
yeah, you do know you're only 32, right?
Yeah, but when you live in the woods,
Girl,
you're a
don't.
stay-at-home mom, and you're on a property that's been around for hundreds of years. I'm finding so much shit. It is so fun. Sparkly rocks, like, have been my thing. I'll have to send you a video of all of them.
Okay.
They're amazing. I have little sticks outside flagging all of the big ones that I can't get out of the ground that I need Tyler to get out of the ground.
Oh my gosh.
He's like,
Oh
"What are you
my
gonna do with
gosh.
these?" I'm like, "What do you
I don't
mean?
know.
They're sparkly."
Yeah.
Like, you put them in the sunniest spot possible.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Honestly, from the Crumbleys, sins of the parents, literally. my child doing something where it's so horrific that I'm going to get in trouble for is literally like my biggest fear.
Well, you only get in trouble for it if you neglect and don't do anything about it. So I don't think
Yeah,
I think you'll be fine there.
I think I'll be okay.
You'll be
But
good.
I'm hoping that I can see the problems before they happen. If they happen, they're probably not going to. But because we watch all
Yeah.
this stuff, I'm always like, "Are you a psychopath? Do
I know, like
you have
seriously.
empathy?" She
Like
does.
he
She
eats only the skin on the apple, and I'm like, serial killer.
does.
Tyler's like, don't even joke about that. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like, it's fine. I'll make sure
Oh,
he doesn't have any issues around the mother. A lot of those serial killer, the men, a lot of them have mom issues, you know?
yeah.
I hate to say that, but I don't want to blame anything on
Ma.
like the mommy issues, but a lot of them really hate their mothers in one way or the other, and that's why they kill women.
Yeah, well,
Just
you'll be
saying.
okay. He loves you.
I hope.
I loves me. Oh,
Mine
okay.
loves me as long as dad isn't home.
Oh, yeah. I'm okay with dad being number one right now. Okay, so next we are going to do the Chaos, the Charles Manson on Netflix. And we will go from there.
Yes. Charles
Okay.
Manson very
Oh, I'm
interests me a lot.
excited. Yes,
Another culty thing. We're
I
too
love
into
it.
cult.
We love them.
Oh,
Okay,
you're waiting for
we'll
me to
see
say
you next
bye, huh?
time. Yep.
Bye.
Bye.